a similar path to the last tornado warning that we were talking about, I guess it's about an hour ago now. But this whole area, if you are in this area, you are in the area that is under the tornado warning. You should take action now to protect yourself and your family from the possibility of a tornadic activity moving in your neighborhood or by your home. And definitely we talk about it all the time. That freight train sound is what you're listening for. It appears or starts out of nowhere. That's an indication that there is a tornado in your area. And if you wait until you hear the sound, it's too late. These things move very, very quickly across the area. And Deborah, what were you going to say? Something?
No, I mean, if you hear the wind, that means it's already there. So
Absolutely.
that freight train sound, as you've experienced, I mean, is that rush and roar of the wind. And I mean, we're talking, this is circulating wind. And in this situation that you've covered, and Derek this morning here, when everybody the last couple of days beat around as this Jim sign on top of it, these are not for just the weaker end tornadoes that many times we can experience, but we have the environment. These could be producing winds possibly upwards of over 110 miles per hour. That's rated EF2 or stronger. That's for the enhanced Fujita scale. So this is the area of rotation when we look at what's going on with radar. This is velocity day. We're looking at the wind speeds, how it's rotating right here. We've got one couplet shown on a leading edge. We've got another couplet where, and when I say couplet, that's just where the difference between the winds coming towards the radar, the winds going away from the radar meet together. So we call those little couplets that are there. Let's see what this looks like on just the data that shows the reflectivity. So this is the rainfall, and many times those flanges show the spin up along with it here too. So again, we showed that particular tornado warning with it as well, that we've got that area of rotation showing up, and it's moving northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So let's get in another storm track for a little wider view for this particular storm. And I'm going to go back to the velocity data because many times that's going to show me exactly where that is the rotation, and I want to give a leading edge to it. So it's become a little bit more diffuse here. Let's see if we can go and look at our shear factor here. It's showing that maybe the leading edge of here with the strongest wind gust now past Pearl River is going to be the worst part of the storm. I have little doubt that you just experienced really strong winds, Pearl River, rush right on through you. I hope you're in your safe spots, and I hope you were in your safe spots. This means upstream from here into Nicholson eventually, that pocket of very strong winds will be moving for you too. But as we look again at that overall velocity data, it's kind of gotten a bit more diffuse. There's more kind of a couplet here, Port Pearl River into Alton here too. So what I'm going to do is put a leading edge storm track really for the strongest wind gust at 25 miles per hour moving north-northeast here. And this gives you the estimation of the time of arrival of at least when a pocket of extremely strong wind gust and a possible tornado could be to where you are. Nicholson, you got 12 minutes. Picayune will be 20 minutes. Richardson, 20 minutes from here. 26 minutes from here is the timing of this particular storm. When you go in real close, you can see that this is right over I-59 too. So I hope that traffic is off the road at this point, or maybe we're taking shelter as well, because being in your car, that's one of the worst places to be in a particular storm with the strong winds of that. It only takes winds from the order of about even 50, 60 miles per hour higher coming to you from the side of your car to sometimes turn that over. Higher profile vehicles are more prone to that are tipped over a little bit more. But your car's designed to go through the wind's straight line at a heavy speed. It's not designed to take winds from the side or even from the rear of it too. NASCAR drivers can tell you that all the time. That's why they've got different parts of the vehicle to deal with those wind speeds. So the tornado warning right now is going to be for St. Tammany Parish, parts of Hancock, and then Pearl River County going here until, we'll show you, and this will be until 10:45 here this morning, that tornado warned storm. Again, it's the most eastern part of that St. Tammany Parish, and then it's going to be right along the Pearl River to Hancock and Pearl River. Yeah, 78 miles per hour of winds at Mid-Lake here, and Mid-Lake is within that particular storm that we're seeing, and that's exactly those pockets of wind that are coming through. So that seems the most dangerous part here too, Damon, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got, I've got something here saying 80 mile per hour wind gusts across parts of the area. So the severe thunderstorm warning, besides the tornado warning that's issued for St. Bernard, St. Charles, St. Tammany, Jefferson, Plaquemines, and I point this out to you because of those strong winds that are being reported by the National Weather Service Office of 80 miles per hour or greater. And it looks like some of these storms are moving pretty quickly at about 55 miles per hour as well. I wanted to also point out to you where the location, the possible location of the tornado, the possible tornado that we were making reference to. And the blue on this picture that you see here, well, that is some of the wind shear that's taking place across that area. And as I put the motion put this into motion, you can see that it moves pretty quickly into or across parts of St. Tammany Parish and headed towards you in Pearl River County. So that is a look at the tornado warning area, and everything that you see here in yellow, what the National Weather Service is making reference to is the area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning, and some areas are experiencing wind gusts of up to 80 miles per hour. So definitely, if you're trying to drive anywhere in a high-profile vehicle, I hope you have emergency gear with you, because you're going to be, hopefully you won't be hurting as a result of being toppled over. We also have some indication of flying debris in some parts of the area, and the National Weather Service is saying again that mobile homes are not the place to be in this type of weather, whether you have a tornado in the area or not. Devin, you got some other information?
I do. I was just looking reports from emergency managers and ham radio operators in St. Tammany Parish, and at least one report of a spotted tornado that just came through Pearl River. And this is where we also are getting reports of trees down. We've got the reports of 78 near 80 mile per hour wind gusts. This was most likely going to be right along that leading edge. Let's go back and put this in motion over the past 15 minutes, and you're going to see this. Look at that line, moves right on through Pearl River. This is most likely where we had that couplet right here between Brookwood Estates and Alton, coming right on through Pearl River. If that report was correct, that was going to be the line of storms that caused the damage, trees down. There's going to be efforts and reports that are just coming in. We've got emergent response coming in right now. The leading edge of this storm now is coming towards the Pearl River, towards Nicholson. At least the rotation within this storm has started to let up, has started to get much weaker, but there is still a pocket of extremely strong winds. Those were near 80 mile per hour winds at once that we'd been seen by Doppler radar. Granted, they were a little higher in the air, but that was an impressive storm with the initial tornado warning. The tornado warning will continue now to include Nicholson, Picayune, eventually Richardson, Zona, Hawthorne eventually as you get up towards parts of Pearl River County. But when we see the latest data on this now, it looks to be that couplet has started to let up here. We got Derek Sibley here with some of the latest info here too. A video of a lot of standing water in Laplace, and been trying to effort some of that up here too. That's the considerable flash flood warning that we have there too. So not to be forgotten is the tornado warning and the potential that we've had a tornado that has just moved through Pearl River. We'll be sending, I think, our teams, we've got people on the North Shore out too, trying to get more information about that, the trees down and the reports coming in. But it is appearing that there's a shot that Pearl River just had at least a tornado move through here, Damon. Looking at that Doppler radar imagery, I'm sure you'd agree with me here that you look at that couplet, boy, that thing was really, really impressive. So at least for another 45 minutes here, 40 minutes, we have that tornado warning that is still in effect. But some of the good news to me here is that we've had some of that started to weaken with that imagery. Let's go to the shear reports, the shear tracker for this. When you look at that shear tracker for it, look at this, and that really started to spin up right there, very intense, the leading edge of that moving right on through there. Did we have a couplet moving through here too? Did we have a debris tracker that showed some of that as well? Here's Pearl River. I didn't necessarily see the signature that shows us that we've got debris lofted into the air. That might be some good news to it. This is Doppler radar that's seeing when you see the differences in shades. This is most likely wind shear and different things that are caught into that. But when you look at the last 15 minutes, it was more into Pearl River, and we should be seeing something of an indication right in this location over that when we look at and compare it to velocity data here for us. That was the area of concern. So when I correlate that to the debris tracker, I didn't get a confirmation on Doppler radar. So sometimes we can see things visually that might look like it's a lowering, may not be the tornado that actually makes its way to the ground. But nonetheless here, Damon, we know that we've had at least nearly 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts roar right on through for this tornado-warned storm that we've been tracking very, very closely and will continue to monitor here too. What you got here at this time?
And that looks like it could be something pretty significant across that area. You know, we're talking about the real possibility of long track tornadoes, not only for the North Shore, but also a possibility for the South Shore. But the most likely place that we could see that type of tornadic activity was North Shore, Pearl River County, and parts of of Hancock County as well. And so hopefully that wasn't a long track tornado, and it doesn't look like it would stay on your screen long enough to be. But there's a significant threat of that type of tornadic activity for you on the North Shore and parts of Pearl River County and parts of Hancock County as well for today. And we don't often talk about being under a moderate risk of severe weather here in southeast Louisiana. So when it occurs, it really gets our attention, and clearly has gotten the attention of the National Weather Service office. Besides the winds and the heavy rainfall that we've got outside and the possibility of tornadic activity, the number of lightning strikes out here is just impressive. And another reason that you don't want to be outside is that some of this is cloud to ground lightning. So you don't want to get struck by lightning in this type of weather, and you don't want to have your vehicle struck by lightning as well. But there's plenty of heavy rainfall out in this area that's under the severe thunderstorm warning right now. Power outages in Bayou Liberty Road as well. So if you're in Bayou Liberty Road, we're getting some reports of power outages out in that direction. And I suspect that that's not the only place that we're going to experience some power outages. Devin, looks like we got something else showing up here.
This is the continuation of the tornado warning. This has been extended now until 11 a.m. Severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado just 4 miles east of Slidell, moving east at 65 miles per hour. This is a new tornado warned storm. So you can see this one is going to be for just into Slidell at this time. So a new tornado warned storm has just been issued from the National Weather Service. This will go until 11 o'clock. This is going to be for this particular area of the storm that's shown right near and right over Slidell at this time. So here it is. We're going to go in real close to downtown and show you where this is. Gauss Boulevard here. We've got a French Branch. Yes, Damon? Did you have something to add to this?
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure that everyone was clear on the area that we were talking about, the new tornado warning area. And it's, I've taken off the lightning data and the rainfall data so you can see very clearly the area that we're talking about from Slidell across lower Hancock County and from St. Tammany Parish into Pearl River County as well. These are the areas that are currently under the tornado warning. These are the areas that you should be taking action right now to protect yourself and your family from any possible tornadic development or movement across parts of your neighborhood. Amanda, do we have that interview right now? Not yet. Okay, so we're trying to get someone on the phone from St. Tammany Parish, and as soon as we get that, we'll let you know. But Devin, I wanted to really point out and make sure it was very clear the area that the National Weather Service has now placed under a tornado warning.
Yeah, and that'll last until 11 a.m. So what we're looking at for that tornado warned storm is right over Slidell at that time. Goss Road here, you look towards look to be the interstate here. That's going to be 10 linking up and turning into 12 as it goes west, 10 as it's going to go east. You can see we've got right over downtown Slidell. Let's get into some of our city streets. Here we go. Here's Daney Street. Here's Vermeau Avenue. There's Estridge. There's the Shopping Mall Center Drive. It's right over at this point where we've got the couplet. This will be moving east right in through town right now. If you're in any places ahead of this, take shelter. French Branch, you've got Pearl Street shown right here. You've got Turtle Creek shown right here. But this is going to be the area of the storm where the tornado warning has just been issued right in Slidell at this time. And the tornado warned storm is going to be moving east here, coming into about 25 miles per hour. Before I'd seen some of those movements. This is now, they say this one's moving extremely fast, 65 miles per hour here, east here, Damon. You got something for me?
Yeah, we've got Mike Cooper on the phone over in St. Tammany Parish. And Mr. Cooper, what are you seeing out in that direction?
Good morning, Damon and Devin. We've got a tornado spotted in the Slidell area off of Highway 11 earlier. And as you all are stating, we're currently under a tornado warning in the Slidell area and east of that. We have some power outages reported off of Highway 59 in the Hoffman Road area. And as you all know, we're sustaining winds of 20 miles an hour in some areas, with gusts exceeding that.
Very heavy thunderstorm activity moving across that area and parts of that area of St. Tammany Parish. Okay, I'm not hearing them on my earpiece, on my IFB.
So
There he is.
I'm still on the air, Damon. We're experiencing some minor street flooding in neighborhoods around the parish, particularly on the east side. And we're stationed here at our EOC with a partial activation with fire, emergency medical, GOSEP, the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office, and Public Works ready to respond. Our Sheriff's Office has high water vehicles positioned across the parish if needed to help our citizens.
All right. Now, President Cooper, you mentioned the possibility of a tornadic activity out there. Have you heard any reports of anybody hurt?
No, we have not gotten any reports of that. Again, that was in the Highway 11 area, just by the T.J. Smith Expressway. We'll call in and report that if we have further information regarding that incident.
All right. And you may have mentioned it already, but how are you doing with flooding out in your area?
We have some minor street flooding in some neighborhoods. Some of the streets in downtown Covington, the water has come up but is now receding. We ask our citizens to stay off the highways and local roadways if possible during this rain event and wind event.
Okay. And are you one of the parishes that closed the schools for today?
Yes, St. Tammany Parish schools are closed today, as well as our local government offices. However, our key personnel are working and on standby to assist our citizens where needed.
Okay, and President Cooper, we've seen some reports about wind gusts of 70 and 80 miles per hour. Are you experiencing any of that out there?
We have had gusts in that high wind, and we're monitoring, and our Public Works Department is out there checking on fallen trees and responding as needed.
All right, and we're getting reports of multiple power lines down and trees down in the Pearl River area out there in St. Tammany. You probably also heard that.
Yes, sir. We're responding to that and awaiting further information on that from our Public Works Department and utility companies.
All right, that's Parish President Mike Cooper. Thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are busy out there. We're keeping an eye on some pretty strong storms that are moving across your area. Hopefully, you won't experience any more tornadic activity, but we'll have our eyes open for that for the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
Devin, you got some other information for us, right?
Yeah, we really need to take a look at this storm really closely here. We've got some extremely strong winds with this, Damon. Look at this coming into us here for a little bit. We've got some extremely strong winds with this. This is going to be 36 miles per hour, 100 mile per hour winds. Now, granted, this is going to be a little bit high up in the air. You're going to be able to see this for me, Damon, at the bottom left of the screen here in radar. But this is a really dangerous situation moving over for this area. It is a little bit more sparsely populated, but there's Stennis Space Center. Tornado warned storm for this particular storm with it, because we've got a pocket of extremely strong winds. Look at that, 140 miles per hour. Roaring east at 60 miles per hour here for us. This is the tornado warned storm that will be until 11 o'clock. So this is the most eastern part of St. Tammany Parish. It was over downtown Slidell just a few minutes ago before we were talking to Parish President here with President Cooper here for us. But you can see Stennis Space Center here. And then you've got the kill eventually in the path of this. So again, kind of sparsely populated areas, of course, with the Space Center, and we do the rocket testing. The kill would be in line with that too. But let's put this in motion just to show exactly where it's headed here for us. This system just a minute ago was right on through Slidell where it started the tornado warned storm. Now has roared just east of this here in Doppler radar indications that we've got at least 100 mile per hour winds here. National Weather Service office actually took a power hit for us, so we've lost some communication with them shortly. So we may have to just run on what we've got here, what we're seeing on Doppler radar, take a look at these storms. But this is the worst storm at this time here, Damon, that I'm watching. I'm going to stay with this because those are really, those are dangerous winds on the order of 120 miles per hour, 140 miles per hour. Granted, those are up in the air, and I can take another look at this. This is one of our reasons we have our own Doppler radar here too, here in where we are. And so I've switched to our Doppler radar to see if I've got a couplet. I don't see a couplet, but again, I am looking at extremely strong winds with that, and that could easily at one point, even though if it is a wind gust that's pushing to the ground and coming to you, that's producing winds that can spin up a tornado. So on top of the flash flooding, I know most of you are probably at home in North Shore. I'm getting pictures from our sales department here. Rich Gallo just sent me in a picture here of standing water right over his place. He's one of our sales department. But this the tornado warned storm that's going to be the worst part of this, that could cause the most damage to us right now. It's in a pretty rural area, but you can see how fast this system is moving as it races off to the east here at about 60 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour. It has just come on through Stennis Space Center. So there's a chance that they could have had some things flying around. Hope they've got everything that's buckled down. Of course, I know they do if they're dealing with jet engine blasts that can produce winds even stronger than that. Right now, tornado warning for this particular area of Hancock County, Mississippi. This will go until 11 o'clock. So I can show you right now that at least for Slidell is in the clear right now, but the storm formed right over downtown, just moved east. It looks to be that these winds could have also gusted and hit the National Weather Service, who just took a hit. They're kind of on the north side of town. As you get towards the airport, you get past 59, 10, and 12 and that whole location here. But what I'm looking at right now is this little couplet and this little spin right here that's moving east and northeast at 65 miles per hour. If you're in line of this particular area, this is where I'm going to say seek shelter at this time. I'm going to get in real close. I'm not going to be able to do 65 miles per hour with the track to it, but I'm going to put a storm track on this leading edge to it, and there it is. We're going to get close to 60 miles per hour. These communities are more going to be out in these areas. Dedeaux here, you get to Delisle. You'll be on the south edge of that most likely. I'm going to say Dedeaux, you've got a chance that this could be here in 14 minutes if it keeps its current rate. Diamond Head shown in the location, that's 11 minutes. You're most likely going to be a little bit to the south side of that particular system if it keeps that northeast track and east-northeast track to it. Here's base St. Louis. Again, we're in Mississippi right now for this tornado warned storm. But I also can't forget that we did have at one time a tornado warning for Picayune. So I want to show, at least for the folks in Picayune, this tornado warning that's still officially in effect until 10:45, which is another 25 minutes. The rotation here has greatly kind of decreased to it, so that's some good news. But let's take a look at what the winds are doing with this here. The winds here are still on the order 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. We're probably a couple thousand, 3,000 feet in the air to that. You could easily find wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. Got some more information here for me, Derek. Tell me widespread power outages in southeast St. Tammany, and that's exactly where this storm right here, with the possibility of those 100-mile-per-hour winds that could have easily come through, that have rolled here right now. So that is what we're watching here for the spin. This is the most dangerous part of the storm at this time. Pearl River, Hancock County, the kill just about in this location, Stennis Space Center right over right here. Slidell, you're in the clear right now. I'm sure you got really heavy rain that's still coming in and coming down. Looks to be we've got special weather statements here. It's a severe thunderstorm warning, destructive here coming in for New Orleans. So let's get to this here too. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, Damon, take it over real quick.
I'm sorry, but before you move off of what you were just showing, I just wanted to show some of the shear data that we've got coming in. And I think you were showing this same thing as it moved across St. Tammany and now into Pearl River County. That could be a possible tornado moving across that region. And the reason that area is under a tornado warning. So if you are in this area, you definitely want to be in your safe place in southern Pearl River County and kind of northwest Hancock County. This is moving in a northeasterly direction, and I think, Devin, it was moving at about 35 miles per hour. So definitely want to keep track of that and keep yourself as safe as you possibly can.
Okay, yeah, Damon, let's go back here, and I want to get into the metro because destructive winds that we'd shown that are into Hancock County is one thing, but that's more of a rural area. Let's get into New Orleans here because this is a heightened severe thunderstorm warning. This is not your ordinary severe thunderstorm warning, but we've got a line of winds now coming right on through the metro. And what we're looking at is wind data, folks, and I know this looks a little bit different. And when you look at least the radar imagery and you see pockets of very heavy rain, it surrounds the West Bank right now. Here's going to be Marrero, there's downtown, but we've got this, what's considered a severe thunderstorm warning with destructive winds. So those could be winds that are on the order of over 70, 75, 80 mile per hour winds. Doppler radar and some of the imagery I just looked at didn't really necessarily kind of equate to that right now, but let's see it. Let's go in and show you for ourselves what we're detecting in some of these areas. 50 mile per hour winds, maybe 40 and 60 mile per hour winds. Let's look at storm relative velocity, if there's anything to that that shows even more to it. Want to make sure we're on the here and now with the latest imagery to it. And again, I'm not showing the extreme winds that at once could have come when I put it in motion over the last 15 minutes. There was a chance here that we could have had some extremely strong winds shown. So let's go back in time and show that wind data. And you can probably find that we had those winds that were on the order of a lot stronger strength, which is why the National Weather Service, at one point had issued, you can see the pocket of these winds right here. Those were the destructive force winds that were coming in at about 15, 20 minutes ago. Now we're getting the north winds coming in from the actual heavy rain from out top. But let's go to the here and now. So if you've got alerts going off for your phone, this is what you'd had here in New Orleans, that you've got a destructive storm with extremely heavy rain coming down right in from over the city, downtown, mid-city, all the way over to Lakeview, all the way over to Kenner. The West Bank doesn't have a pocket of rain right through the heart of it in Gretna and Marrero, but you got over to parts of Algiers and towards around English Turn. Belchase, some very heavy rain as you get down towards Destrehan and you get towards Harahan here too. Eventually Avondale, you've got some very heavy rain, or out west more to Destrehan as well. What we're also concerned with is the flash flooding along with this here. Flash flood warnings for the metro, considerable flash flood warnings, LaPlace, the Lutcher, Madisonville, flash flood warnings for you. So just to cover everything, there are a lot of alerts going on right now for you. Probably the most concerning alerts is going to be a tornado warning for Picayune, but a lot of that rotation's been absorbed. So your tornado threat, even though you're under a warning, has shown to be pretty low. Could still have some gusty winds moving through, obviously a lot of extremely heavy rain for you. And we still have a tornado warning that it extended originally into Slidell, but the worst part of that storm is moving towards the Kill and Hancock counties. So that's the second storm here that the tornado warning goes until 11 o'clock. The third storm that we've got here that we're watching for our alerts is the severe thunderstorm warning for the city of New Orleans and Orleans Parish. This is going to be parts of St. Bernard Parish here too. That will expire here in 20 minutes. And then we've got the numerous flash flood warnings that are out all the way from Hammond, Central St. Tammany Parish, the city of New Orleans, and we've got all the river parishes as you extend farther west from there too. And the probably is going to be expanded to give more flash flood warnings as this moves rather slowly, merges with our second area of storms that are moving in. So a lot of alerts, the potential that you've got a lot of alerts coming into your devices, depending on where you are, from New Orleans to Mississippi and even towards Hancock and Pearl Rivers right now. So the two tornado warned storms for us. And then we've got that severe thunderstorm warning for New Orleans. And then the extremely heavy rain that extends all the way along with this line. And we look at this in the last 15 minutes. This rain is not going to be letting up anytime soon. The merge of this training line of storms that's right here in New Orleans will extend farther west for us right now. And it doesn't look like that's going to be any help to this particular flash flood warning that's in effect here for New Orleans at this time, because this is only going to be a lot more rain coming down and then more rain on top of that here too for us. So a lot of alerts. Tornado warning for Picayune, but again, a low threat since that rotation's kind of been absorbed. And we may not have alerts or updates coming in from the National Weather Service since they've taken a power hit and the communications hit. Tornado warning for, it'll be Hancock County. This is going to be in the Mississippi for a line of storms moving. If you're in the Kill, seek shelter right now. You're going to have a lot of hefty rain and a lot of strong winds that are right on you right at this time. And then we've got the third storm, which is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning for St. Bernard and parishes in Orleans parishes, northern parts of Jefferson Parish going until 10:45 here too. and then it's going to be the flash flooding and the extremely heavy rain. And again, this is the greatest impact that has the biggest effect on the biggest population here for us. They extend all the way from New Orleans. Thibodeau's now getting the very heavy rain. Franklin, let's just put on lightning data real quick to show that we've got lightning data. And oh boy, I mean, that is the most intense part of the storm, where the 2 tornado-warned storms are going on at this point. Where the lightning isn't as intense, this is still extremely heavy rain. Could have some updrafts intensifying here into Franklin here for us as well. But again, a number of alerts that are going on, and we are at the height of this storm right now. It's only going to continue for just a little while. One last round, and Damon, you've got the latest alerts to us, but again, a tornado warning is technically still in effect. That will be in effect for Picayune, but that has been absorbed. We've got a tornado-warned storm that is for the kill. This is for winds that are possibly on the order of maybe over 100 miles per hour. Look at this, moving towards the kill right now. And then you've got severe thunderstorm warnings for potentially destructive winds that have once been in place for over 70 and 80-mile-per-hour winds that have been in place. And then we've got all the flash flood alerts. So the tornado on the ground near Stennis Space Center is moving 40 miles per hour northeast. So that is, again, that most dangerous storm at this point. So that is this storm. Here it is. We did get an update. Thank you for. We're going to stay with this live for a little bit. This is what we're going to want to show. So people in this area, if you're in Catahoula, take shelter. So this is a confirmed tornado. This has just been upgraded live here for us. This is moving off to the east here, going to be at a pretty high rate of speed. Earlier detected at 65, now 50 miles per hour. So we get in and we're looking at velocity data. This is going to be the area of rotation. Let's look at radar if we can see. This is a rain-wrapped tornado. You are not going to be able to make much out of this, even though there's been confirmation visually coming in from this in Stennis Space Center, is that's roared right through. If you're in ahead of this storm to Standard, Dedeaux, Lizana, Wortham, seek shelter now. Get to that lowest part of your home. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible.